Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you how to paint a sphere, because usually that is one of the more difficult forms to paint. So starting with black and white, again, just two small areas of black and white. I'm mixing them together to make a common gray. So this would be found in the middle of your value scale. And what I'm doing is called gestural painting. So I'm painting using a mostly dry brush, just a little bit of color, and painting fairly quickly just to get a rendering of the shape that I want. With this, I'm thinking about the sphere being round, obviously, and then thinking about the light source. So what direction the light is shining onto the sphere and where the highlight and the shadows are going to go. So I then paint the inside of my sphere with that gray color. And I'm going to start with the lightest color, which is white for the sphere. And the part that's closest to the light is going to be pure white. So that is the top of the sphere connected to the light source, which could be a lamp, it could be the sun, who knows. Then I'm going to take that white and go down the body of the sphere. So remember that the sphere is round. So every line that you make circling that light source, that bright white spot, has to be curved. If it is flat, that sphere that you're painting is also going to be flat and it will not be realistic. I'm cleaning up the edges of the sphere with my white. And again, I'm putting a generous amount of white on there, especially towards the center. As I get closer towards the bottom of the shadow, it's less white because I know the farther away something is from a light source, the darker it's going to be. So now on the bottom, I did not wipe off my brush because I want a little bit of that white still left over. I'm going to do the same thing but with black towards the bottom, since I know that the shadow on the bottom is going to be the darkest. So I'm outlining my form with black, again putting most of the black farthest away from the white, and then cleaning up the edges of my sphere. So you want to be careful not to blend every single part of it, and go gradually with mixing those midtones in between, because that's really going to make or break your sphere. You want a good transition between what is the lightest versus what is the darkest. And again, I want all my lines and my values to be curved, because that shows a proper transition of light and shows the correct form of the sphere. So this is probably easier looking in this video than it will be when you first do this, but go slow. And again, this video is sped up from the normal pace of it. So just go slow. I'm doing a lot of wet on wet blending, so I'm not allowing my acrylic to dry. Now I'm going to take a new brush and clean up some of the texture on the white that I have left behind. I don't need to use that white, but this clean brush is going to allow me to blend that area so there's not a lot of chunky lines left over. And then the last thing I'm going to do is paint the cast shadow. So that is going to be pure black as well because it's farthest away from the light source. And then as it goes on, as the cast shadow goes away from the object, it gets lighter. So there's a lot of dry brushing going on the farther away it is.